Hi everyone, hope you are all doing well. Let's talk about something very controversial right now. Iran and Israel. And I wanted to talk about this from my own perspective and as someone who is not either Muslim or Jew. Um, Regardless of what you see on my chest, the tattoo that I have, um, that I got before I became a Christian and a follower of Christ. Um, and it's actually not even a Jewish star, so I was never a Jew. Um, this comes from a book called Be Here Now, which is written by a Hindu person. Because before I was a Christian, I was into meditation and spirituality and all of that spiritual mumbo jumbo. Um, but uh, yeah, I just want to clear that up because sometimes I get on here and I've talked about Jesus and different things like that, and people who disagree with the things that I say, they're like, "Oh, makes sense. He's a Jew. He's." I'm not a Jew. I've never been a Jew. I honestly barely know anything about Judaism besides that they um, also follow the Old Testament, but so do Muslims. They also believe in Abraham and uh, Adam and Eve and all that stuff. So, um, anyways, moving on from that, this video is about Israel and Iran. And I wanted to talk about this because I know nowadays there's not a lot of open dialogue where people um, can talk about these things in a way that's not super strongly opinionated on one way or the other. And I probably have my fair share of things in life where I have a strong opinion, but um, I've also come to a place in my life where anything politics related, I might have an opinion, but I try to not ever be too strongly opinionated. And the reason being is because I don't believe politics are the real solution to things in life. Because I think it's just such an earthly thing. And as a Christian, I know that here on earth, we are imperfect humans in an imperfect world that we can never make perfect on our own. So we're never going to make the world perfect through politics or anything like that. So, um, that aside, um, I wanted to talk about Iran and Israel because uh, I understand both sides. I, I see on Twitter. I'm a Twitter user, so I see a lot of crazy opinions. I see a lot of strong opinions, and I see a lot of people who hate Israel, and that they are being pointed out as a aggressor. And I guess just based on what I know, which is a very simple view of things, is how Israel is basically attacking Iran because Iran is building these nuclear weapons right next to Israel because they are next to Israel. And so Israel, based on their history and based on whatever it's based on, thinks that that is a danger to their survival. And I think any rational person, and I think any, then in an extent, any rational um, place, if they felt threatened, they would do something about it. Just like a bear. I think of it just like a bear. If a bear sees a human, and it's especially a woman bear, and it has its cubs, and it sees a person or anything, even if that person's not doing anything to them directly right then at that moment, that bear just goes and mauls that person, that mama bear, because of the threat to its cubs. And that's a little bit how I see it with Israel. And again, I'm not taking Israel's side. I'll get into Iran. Um, but what I am saying is that I understand Israel, whether I agree or not. Um, and so, uh, yeah, their mindset is they're going to destroy the problem before it's a real problem because they don't want to wait for it to get too late. And personally, they just don't trust Iran. And I'll be honest, I don't trust Iran. I barely know anything about them, but I don't really trust any Middle Eastern country because I don't trust Islam. And that's no hate to every single person of Islam. It's not even hate to Islam, honestly. Um, I don't trust Islam. I think that Islam is a creation of a false prophet who may or may not have been um, deceived by a false spirit, a false angel. Um, and so um, those are obviously opinions, and I don't know for sure. I'm not speaking that as fact, but I can pretty surely say that I believe Islam is a false religion. So all these Middle Eastern countries that are um, running their country based on Islam as their core, as their spiritual belief that their country is backed by, um, I don't trust them because deep down, as an American, as a Christian, I don't think they really like us. And doesn't mean I think all of them don't. I think there's plenty of Muslims who are peaceful and are um, not in any way aggressive towards Americans or Christians. Um, Especially in America, I know that there's lots of Muslims who live in America, and um, I don't think that they just want to. I don't think every single one of them just wants to kill America. So um, it's not anything like that. But those countries as a whole, yeah, I don't think they really like America that much. And so, and I'm not saying Israel is much better. Um, like I'm not gonna say that they love America. I don't think Jews love Christians. I've seen lots of nasty things that Jews say about Jesus and that they say about Christians. I mean, I saw one Jew video of this guy. He's like, I spit when I hear the name Jesus because it's so nasty. I spit. And he spits in the ground. And I'm like, jeez. It's looking kind of funny to me. But, uh, but also kind of nasty, right? I don't want to see that Jewish guy spitting. But, anyways, that's off topic. Um, So then on the other side, yeah, I understand Iran at the same time. I don't know why they're building nuclear weapons. I mean, lots of governments are building nuclear weapons because it's a stronghold. Who, like, if you have the better nuclear weapons, then you have more power, right? So they might not be using it to be an aggressor. They might be using it as something to kind of um, show their dominance in a way so that they can't be picked on, and so that they are seen as a threat or as strong. So I don't know their exact intentions. Again, I haven't done enough research, but again, I don't necessarily trust the country of Iran, um, but um, I don't necessarily trust Israel either. But so I understand both sides, and I understand that Iran, for whatever reason, they're building their nuclear weapon. If Israel initiates the contact physically, yeah, they have the right to defend themselves. I mean, what else are you going to do? You're not going to just not defend yourself. Um, but at the same time, maybe they should have not been building nuclear weapons when people who are stronger than them tell them not to. So um, that's kind of just something to think about. I'm not saying I necessarily think that. I'm just saying pointing out different viewpoints. So I'd love to hear other people's thoughts on this. Maybe not anything like too where you get too extreme and start using large words. I mean, not that I don't have a good vocabulary. I actually probably have a pretty decent vocabulary. But I just like to keep it simple. I think things are simple. I think they can be complicated, but I think that solutions and things that are really going on are simple. But that's again a little bit off topic. But um, yeah, I just decided I'd make this video. I'm ready to make a little bit more controversial videos talking about things that are going on. and giving my insights on them, and ultimately just bringing up a conversation for people to be able to talk about these things, um, because it's good for us to talk about things. But that's it, and see ya.